Hey, this is Oscar from the Coding Universe, and this is episode 4 of my Java game development series. In this episode, I'll cover input. So let's open up Eclipse. And this is what we did in episode 3. We're going to copy this code and create a new class, which we're going to call input demo. So we're going to copy all this code into the input demo file and let Eclipse fix the names. Then we're going to remove the line rendering thingy and the quad rendering thingy. In the imports, we're going to import org.lightweightjavagameLibrary.input.mouse, and we're going to import org.lightweightjavagameLibrary.input.keyboard. Now I'm going to give a quick demonstration here of how the mouse and keyboard classes work. Let's say I want to exit my application when I press the escape key. In the render loop, I could say if keyboard.isKeyDown keyboard.keyEscape display destroy and system exit. So if I run this, it shows me the window. When I press escape, it closes. So I'm going to change the title to input demo. I can also look for the mouse coordinates. To do that, I'm going to type in mouse.get, and there's loads of methods right here. We're going to use the dynamic x, dynamic y, and x and y. Something that's kind of weird with the lightweight Java game library and the way we set up our display. When we ask for mouse get y, it doesn't give us the correct y coordinate. We have to subtract it from our height, which is 480 pixels. So if we would like to save our mouse y coordinates, we would do int mouse y is 480 minus mouse get y. I print this variable and run the application. You'll see it now correctly shows me the mouse y. The mouse.getDx and dy stand for dynamic x and dynamic y. It's basically the movement. So if I would want to capture the movement, I could say something like int dx is mouse.getDx. Oops. There we go. So you can see in the console here, if I move it a little bit to the right, the dx indicates 1. If I move it a lot, it indicates larger stuff. If I move it to the left, it indicates the same numbers but in negative. The same goes for the Y, but yet again, the actual mouse Y dynamic variable somehow differs from the one you get by invoking mouse.get dynamic Y. So you have to invert the answer, put a minus in front of it, and say mouse.get dy. So if I run this, you'll see the x coordinate works and the y coordinate also works for dynamic movements. So now I've created a fun little example for today. It's basically going to be a program where if you press the C key, a box will appear here. And when you click on the box, you can drag it around, and when you press the right mouse button, you will stop dragging it. Also, when you press the middle mouse button, you will randomize the colors of the block. So to do this, we're going to create a new class called box. In that class, we're going to create a few public variables, public int x, y, and we're also going to set our random colors, so color red, color blue, and color green. These are going to be floats. So create our constructor. Oh, by the way, this should be a private static class. For x and y coordinates, and just initialize them. And to initialize our random colors, we're going to use the java.util.random class. So random generator is new random. Our color red is going to be random generator.next float. If you look at the documentation, it returns a random float value between 0 and 1. So that's what we also want to, so we can use the GL color 3f function. So color red, wait, let me just copy this. And color green. There we go. We're also going to create a method called Randomize Colors, and we can just copy and paste this code into there. Now we're going to create another method called Draw, and this will draw the box. I'm not going to explain how this works. If you want to know how this works, please watch episode 3. Oh wait, I forgot. These are x and y, not quad x and quad y. There we go. We're also going to create a method called update. And this will take dynamic x and dynamic y variables, so mouse movement variables, It's just a really simple bit of code here. X is x plus dx, and y is y plus dy. In the variables, we're also going to put a public boolean, and we're going to call it selected, and initialize it to false by default. And we're going to create a boolean method. We're going to call it inbound. Just return true for now. And we're going to create an if statement and see if our coordinates are in the box, and well, yeah, just that. So if mouse x is greater than rx and mouse x is smaller than rx plus our width, which is 50, and our mouse y is larger than our y, and our mouse y is also smaller than our y plus our height, which is also 50. So if this is the case, we're going to return true. And if it's not the case, we're going to return false. So there we go. Oh yeah, one last thing, in the draw method, also going to specify the color. So we have our color red, our color blue, or our color green, and then our color blue. So now that we've created this box class, we're going to use it. Let's just create an array list. So list, also in java.util, box, we're going to call it shapes is new array list box with a default of 16, the default capacity of 16. There we go. Now for the render part, we're going to do a for each loop for box for each box of shapes, and we're just going to test it here. We're going to draw it. So we're going to add 2 boxes. One at 15x, 15y, and one at 100x, 150y. So there we go. I've created 2 boxes with random colors at 15x, 15y, and 100x and 150y. Now we're going to create the dragging mechanism. To do that, we're going to create a for loop. So if mouse is button, oh no, wait. Actually, I have to create another variable, which we're going to call private boolean something is selected. Yeah, it's a really descriptive variable here. So if something is selected, we're going to set this to true. So if our mouse is button down 0, that's the left mouse button, and our box is in bounds, mouse.getY, get X, and mouse.getY. So if we're pressing the mouse button in our bounds, we're going to print out you click me. If I run this, just to see if it works. There we go. It works. Also have to add and something is not selected. And in here we're going to set something is selected to true. And we're going to add another if statement. If mouse is button down 1, so if our right mouse button is down, we're going to set something is selected to false. We're also going to set the box dot selected to true, and in here we're going to set box dot selected to false. So we're also going to set if box is selected. So if we've selected the box, we're going to update the box with mouse get dynamic X and mouse get dynamic Y. So let's see if it works. You can see if I click with the left mouse button, I select the box, and if I click with the right mouse button, I let go of the box. Same here. So that's pretty cool. Now we're going to add the box creation stuff. To do that, we're going to use the keyboard event keys, which I haven't explained before. I'm going to create a while loop. I'm going to invoke keyboard.next. So while there are still event keys in the keyboard class, if I have my window open and I press G, the G key, the window or the lightweight Java game library will save that to an event key in this keyboard class. So while there are still event keys, we'll do if keyboard get event key is the same as keyboard key C, and keyboard get event key state is true. I'm going to add a new box at the dimensions 15 by 15. So let me drag this out of here. When I press the C key, it will create a new box for me in 15x 15y. Isn't this amazing? I mean, creating boxes and with random colors and such. Lastly, we're going to create the Randomize Color aspect. And to do this, we're going to create a new private boolean, which is going to be volatile because we're going to use concurrency to do this. And we're going to call it random color cooldown is false. Here we're going to create a new if statement. If mouse is button down 3, or actually 2, this is the middle mouse button, and wait, we should actually add this method into here. There we go. So if that button is down and our box, wait, we can just copy this code. There we go. So if you press the middle mouse button in the block, we're going to randomize its colors. Where is the error? Private volatile boolean. So if I run this right now, when I press the middle mouse button, the colors rapidly change, but for me this is a bit too rapid. So to change this, I'm going to create a new thread. The thread can be found in java.long, so you don't need to import it. We're going to create a new Runnable, which is an interface, and I'm going to run the thread. I'm going to try Thread.sleep for 200 milliseconds. I'm going to catch. Oh wait, I don't actually know what error that or exception that is. There we go, interrupted exception. And finally, our random color cooldown is false. So in here we're also going to set our random color cooldown to true. So now if we run the application and we press the middle mouse button, it slowly changes the colors. You can also delete this debug system.out.print line statement. And there we go. I hope you learned how to handle input with the lightweight Java game library. The source code for this program will be in the video description. Thanks for watching. This was The Coding Universe.